the Razer Blade. This name always comes back while talking about gaming laptop, so I decided to spend £2,698 in Amazon to put an end to if this laptop is actually worth it. And yes, Razer did not send me this laptop for review or have any affiliation with Razer whatsoever. I bought this laptop by myself with my own money. So let's have a full talk about it, what I like, what I don't like, and how it performs in game. I'm CheCo, and yes, this in front of me is the Razer Blade 16 2023 edition. And the hardware on this thing is just top notch. With an Intel i9 13950HX with 24 cores, 32 threads, and a boost clock of 5.5 GHz, 16 GB of DDR5, 5600 MHz, 1TB NVMe SSD PCI Gen 4, and a full NVIDIA RTX 4060. Now for the ports, we got a proprietary Razer power port, and I will talk about that in a minute, but that includes a 280 watt charger, 3 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C ports with Thunderbolt and capable to charge the machine as well, a 3.5mm headphone microphone combo port, a UHS-2 SD card reader, HDMI 2.1 port, and a Kensington security lock. Quick note over here, because yes, you can also charge this machine with USB Type-C, and that is up to 110 watts. So if you're taking this into the office and you don't want to carry the massive, over here, the massive 280 watt power adapter that Razer give you, is actually quite heavy. You don't need to, you can just use the USB-C charger. Now the screen, because alongside with this beautiful body that we got here, is a 16-inch ratio screen with a 2560 by 1600 QHD display with 100% DCI P3 color gamut, HDR 400, 500 nits of brightness, NVIDIA G-Sync, and 3 millisecond response time. All this in a 16 by 10 aspect ratio with 240 Hz display. I know this make this screen not just for gaming, but great for content creation, like all day long. DaVinci, Photoshop, Lightroom, you name it. This thing is incredible. But of course, we're not here to talk about specifics and ports and whatnot. We're here to play some games and talk some numbers. So, City Skylines at 1440p, all settings very high, VSync on, DLSS on. I was comfortable around 170 frames mark, and that was with 65.8 degrees on the GPU and 100 degrees on the CPU package for this laptop. Moving to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, saying 140p, high setting, VSync on, 120 frames, GPU 80 degrees, and the CPU 92. Then gain control, I ran this at 1600p, everything high setting, VSync and DLSS on, and that was 97 frames, 80 degrees on the GPU and 100% again on the CPU. But for some rating, Formula 1 2022, the same 1600p, all settings high, VSync on, and this was 80 frames a second, 95 degrees on the GPU and 80 degrees on the CPU. And I tell you what, this was smooth at butter. Playing Formula 1 on this thing was incredible. Playing any game on this thing was amazing. But now some synthetics benchmarks. I've done two. So I got Geekbench single core. This was scoring 2596, and in multi-core 12,671, with the CPU again peaking 100%. We'll talk about the cooling in a second, about the CPU. 100 degrees on the CPU, 5.2 megahertz max clocks. For Nova bench test, this was 1474 on the CPU, making it 1627 G flops SIMD with a compression of 523 megabytes a second. And for the GPU, and this is where this thing really beats there, this boosts up to 10,962 G flops of compute power and a maximum power of 548 points. Alright, let's move to the keyboard, because the keyboard is nice. It's a nice keyboard. The only thing I have not liked, a couple of things, is it's quite low. They are very low keys. But to be honest, for some adventure games and stuff, like just story mode game, this works really, really good. FPS games was not the best on it. I prefer a mechanical keyboard, something with a bit more trouble, just to know where my fingers are. I felt many times that I was pressing different keys when I had my fingers in WASD. So keep that one in mind. But overall, keyboard is beautiful, no number pad. So small keyboard, you got key functions on the top, super bright keyboard as well. You can adjust the brightness of the keyboard over here as well. And you got 12 function keys, pressing the function over here, and that changes color, as you can see. And then you got the full RGB glowing around. You can change that effects anytime. But flex on the keyboard was minimum, to be honest. I've seen worse ones. So I actually like the flex on the keyboard. It's not a lot. The only thing I didn't like, as I said, is the keycaps, the travel of the keycaps. I feel they are very, very low. Similar to a MacBook, for example. They're very low keycaps. That's the only thing I personally didn't like. One thing I did like was that massive, I don't know if you can see over there, that massive trackpad that we got here. Because this trackpad is huge. It's insane. And it's super smooth. And you can see you can do anything that you really want in there. And it's insane. It's beautiful for Photoshop or even video editing. You can use this trackpad. You can use multiple fingers as well to do different combinations of windows over here. And of course, I mentioned the keyboard, I mentioned the flex in the keyboard, and all that flex comes from the chassis itself, because this is a CNC mill from a single aluminium block, giving it super strength with a very low ratio weight, weighing only 2.4 kilograms. But it's not that bad for all the power that this thing got inside. And that makes, thanks to the whole aluminium body everywhere, it's not a very flexible machine in general. So yeah, of course, the keyboard is not very flexible, but the whole machine in general is quite robust, to be honest. Even the screen up here, everything is quite robust and looks beautiful. This got 100 degrees in synthetic benchmark and actually gaming. And the reason for that is the cooling solution. So you got below it, you got two intake fans, one over here, then two intake fans take cold air from the surface going up the chassis and exhausting it through the rear over here, through this vent over here. Now, it's no exhaust on the sides, it's no exhaust on the top. It's a little bit of intake through the keycaps, but not a lot. So basically, in through here, out through the back. Now, the feet on this are not very deep. I would say they're like 2, maybe 3 millimeters deep. There's this rubberized type of feet over here, and the same ones on the back. So they're not lifting the laptop as much. I wish maybe it was a little bit more in an angle at the back. That maybe will help with cooling solution. But yeah, if you put this in a table, you don't got a lot of room over here to USB, for example. Like, it barely fits. It's not a lot of gap underneath, so it's not a lot of air coming through the bottom of the keyboard and try to exhaust this with the back. So the bottom of the keyboard itself gets really, really hot while gaming. And of course, then not much air is coming through the back, because to be honest, it's kind of asphyxiating itself. So that's something that I don't really like from Razer. From comparing that, then yeah, the laptop looks beautiful. The cooling solution maybe is not the best. And yes, I haven't opened it to look inside because I bought this thing. I don't want to void the warranty so far, so I haven't been inside the laptop. But I've seen some pictures online, and they're using thermal paste. They're using normal thermal paste, no liquid cooling, and the cooling solution is just kind of a standard, if I must say. So yeah, not very impressed with the with the cooling solution over here, I wish they'd done a little bit better. And you may have seen on the top, they got the speakers next to the keyboard. You got one speaker here and another grill over here. So this laptop got a total of four speakers, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, located just at the size of. Now this is a stereo system, left and right. Now we know that Razer got the THX virtual surround system that delivers kind of a 7.1 virtual sound, and I got Razer headphones and they came with the USB dongle adapter, and I can use the same on that machine over there, the THX virtual. Personally, I would like it. Personally, I think stereo sound a little bit better, and this speaker is actually really good. 4 speakers, this give an amazing sound, to be honest, and you don't need that virtual surround system. Maybe for some type of story mode gaming, but if you're serious about sound, you really don't want that. And to be honest, then 2 speakers firing from the top, and then there's 2 little ones firing down through the desk. They actually sound pretty good. Now it's a laptop. A laptop, you use it for video conference, you use it for whatever, meetings, this, that. Got a webcam. Webcam. One feature that I really like, okay? A feature that I really like is the webcam itself up here. It does got a little security flicky thing on the top, this plastic thing that all the laptops in this house I have bought, and this little lucky plastic thing that you glue on top and you pop it open. You never know if someone is watching or not. So this is actually quite good. You can block with the physical piece of plastic the webcam, and it's so easy to do, and I love it. But a webcam in general is 1080p. If you've got a lock and you lock it, it takes a couple seconds to get all the dynamic range and all the lighting properly, so everything just go white all of a sudden, and then everything just settle. Once it's settled, it's beautiful. Autofocus is brilliant, and I think the color accuracy is quite good as well. But yeah, 1080p webcam is just up here located on the top chin, and it's actually a nice webcam, to be honest. And of course, being a Razer laptop, it does got Razer Chroma RGB. Now that's just the creme of the creme for Razer. Like, we got it on the mountains, we got it on the headphones as well. We got it everywhere. I use the Razer Synapses to control all my fans and lighting on that computer over there. And having it in a laptop, I mean, it was respected. So yeah, Perky RGB. Right now we just got it over here, but something very nice actually I like. That logo at the back. That logo at the back, you can actually control the RGB through the Synapse app and make it static like now. You make it breathy, or you can turn it off completely. But yeah, pair keycap RGB with the Razer Synapse. And also the Razer Synapse, you've got plenty of other stuff for cooling, for performance. So I mean, the app is quite handy for this, and Razer in general have done a good laptop, to be honest with. Now the question here, will you buy the 2,698 British pounds? Let me know down below. But hey, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to follow me everywhere. This is how I can afford to buy something like this. As I said, Razer didn't give me this. I paid this with my own money, just for you guys. Razer Blade 16 2023 edition. Thanks for watching. I'm CheCo Tech. Catch you in the next one. Adios.